at my father's cafe, he used to be a lot of wise guys who used to walk in there all the time. A lot of mobs.
Where is this, Nick? What part of New York City?
It was Long Island, which is called the Five Towns area, but where the cafe was borderline Queens. So it was very close to where I came from. And it was, a lot of guys came from all different areas to the cafe. Um, Vic Orena used to come there a lot. I knew him very well, knew the whole family. I knew all the sons. His youngest son played football with my brother. So, and Vic was the acting boss in the Colombo family. And he used to come in there, very nice guys. He sit in the back of the restaurant. Nobody ever sat next to him. And at 13 years old, you understand what's going on. And I was always wondering, why is he sitting by other sitting next to him? So I would ask my uncle, and my uncle and my dad ran the place, and my grandfather too. And I asked him, why is nobody sitting next to Vic? And my dad goes, don't worry about it. That was always the line, don't worry about it. So there was another guy, Sally, who was a bookmaker. And he used to come in every week, every Tuesday. He used to come on a Tuesday and drop off these, like, football sheets, where you can bet on football. But I'm not talking about soccer, like football Europe. I'm talking about American football, NFL. And he used to bring these like long sheets, and I'd see guys like writing their names on them and giving Sal money. I'm like, what's going on here? And then I would see Sal walk around my father's counter and go to an office in the back. And he would he would go to the back office. I'm like, what does he want you? What's he doing back there? Hey, Dad, what's he doing back there? Don't worry about it. Again, but don't worry about it. So, really, I tell a 13-year-old kid, don't worry about it, he gets curious. So, I'm watching him, and I'm realizing every time he leaves the restaurant, the cafe rather, he would leave an envelope on top of the register, where my grandfather was. So when nobody was watching, I grabbed the envelope once and I looked inside. It's loaded with freaking money. Loaded. And I'm seeing all these little kind of sheets that came from the loaded sheet, and now I'm putting two and two together. I said, wait a minute, these guys are betting on football games. Ah, so what did I do? Next time he came, I took one of the sheets and made copies of it at the library. And I was selling football sheets in my school. I was my own bookie. So I was making money every week. Eventually, my father found out. And he found found one of the sheets in my drawer or something like that. And he's like, what's this? What's this doing here? I'm like, oh, Sal gave it to me. No, he didn't. He wouldn't give it to you without me knowing. He says, listen, if you're doing anything stupid, he says, Sal's going to find out. They're going to break your legs. You better cut this stuff out. They find out. I said, all right, fine. So I stopped. I was making like $500 a week at 13. It was a lot of fun. But
why was Vic Orena sat on his own?
Well, because everybody knew who he was. So nobody sat next to him because he didn't want nobody sitting next to him. And nobody could hear what he's saying. You don't know who's going to sit next to him and hear something he's saying to his fathers or his two sons that were in the life at the time. Two of them were in the life, the other two weren't. So they used to come in there and sit with them and whatever other gentlemen were with him. So purposely, he made sure that told the waitresses, don't sit anybody near our table.
Right. So, okay. So it wasn't sat in the seat directly next to him. It was sat on a table.
Well, he sat
next to him.
Well, he sat at a round table in the back of the restaurant, and nobody else was allowed to sit next to him. No tables anywhere near. So they did it really for security reasons. Don't want nobody sitting to hear anything he's saying. They don't know if it's another cover guy. Who the hell? Who knows? So that's kind of the reason why they did that. There's another guy that came in there that I became friends with. His name was Boobie Cerasani, or John Boobie Cerasani. If anybody ever watched the movie Don Brasco, he was part of Sonny Black's crew. And me and Boobie became good friends. We used to come in the store all the time. We used to drive the white Lexus. We used to pull out, eat the same thing almost every freaking day. Always ate eggs with bacon and toast almost all the time. And I had a cup of coffee, a small OJ. That was his typical lunch. And one time he asked me if I want to go to AC with him, Atlantic City, to play in the casinos. I don't play in casinos. I like throw my money away. He said, "No, just come along." All right, I'll come along. So I went with him, and he was playing. I think it was blackjack or poker, and he pulls me. He's playing, right? He's winning. He's doing good. I'm not playing. I'm just hanging out. So then he yells at me. He goes, "Greek, come over here." I go, "What's up?" He says, "You got $5 grand on you?" I said, "God, what the love I got $5 grand on you?" We like, "No, we nuts." He says, "But at this point, I'm a little older at this point." So I'm like, "I don't got $5 grand." So what do you got? So I looked in my pocket. I got about 2,000. He says, "Give it to me." I said, "Give it to you. I got nothing left there. So don't worry about it." Okay. I'm thinking I'm gonna get money back, right? I give him the 2 grand. He plays it and wins 30,000. Right? We're leaving. We're going back home now. We're in his Lexus. He's driving back. I said, "Hey, Boobie, what do you think? Can you can take care of me?" He says, "What do you mean?" I said, "You don't know. I gave you, you know. Don't worry about it. Think of it as a donation." Right? It ain't.
Were you still friends with him after that?
Oh, well, yeah, well, if I was still friends, I mean, I didn't hold any amount of muscle. But that's the way these guys are, It didn't surprise me. We were still friends. He passed away maybe about, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago of cancer. He has a daughter that's out there. I never knew her, but I knew he had a daughter. That was John and Vic and Sally. Um, Angelo Ruggiero, who was John Gotti's guy, he came in there. Well, I never talked to him, but he came in once I saw him. Frank Sinatra came in there once with his secretary. Who was I didn't chance to speak with him. His secretary I spoke to because she lives in the area. So he came in one day with her. And he was nice enough to sign an autograph for my father and my uncle. I still have it. So that was pretty cool. So we had some, like, some interesting characters.
So let's unpick some of that. So a question went through my head when you were talking about the blackjack game and your mate winning 30 grand. If the boot was on the other foot and you went there with him and you said, "Hey, chuck me 5 grand," would he have done the same for you?
Probably not. Probably not. He probably would have, if he was to do that. If he was to do that, he would definitely want a kickback when it's all said and done. For sure.
It seems a pretty tight thing to do when he should have given you like double your money back, should he not? Rather than kept it.
He should have, but these guys don't think like that. It's some of them do, some of them don't. Some are very generous, some are not generous. It depends on who you're talking about. The Greek guy, Spiro, Velentzas, who was the boss of the Greek crew, who I knew well, I knew his whole family. He passed away just recently, about a month ago. He passed away in prison. He was doing low. I visited him twice in prison. He was a generous guy. I remember a story where some guy owed him money, and he knew he couldn't pay him back. And what he did was actually, when he found out the guy was in the hospital, Spiro paid his hospital bills. So it's something that depends on every guy was different. And Spiro,
Did you know? Did you know that the guy? I don't mean to harp on about the blackjack game, but did you know that your friend wasn't going to pay you back if he won?
honestly, I didn't know what to expect. I wasn't really sure what he would do.
You wouldn't do that again, though, would you?
Hell no.
If you went with him again, you'd like make sure you haven't got anything in your
And nothing.
pockets.
Oh, wait. But the
Uh,
funny thing is, when he came to the cafe, and I took care of him, but he opened the tip. Well, it really didn't make any sense to me.
I find that mindset fascinating of his. Like just to oh, chuck us a few grand, and he goes and wins a lot of money, and then he's just like, "No, I'm not even giving you your own money back." So let's go back to Vic Orena because he's obviously a notable name. So what was he? Excuse me. What was he like as a person? What was his personality like?
Well, I mean, the Vic I knew was different than the Vic that people they not hear about. Vic was a nice guy. He was always a nice guy. The whole family was very nice. Very nice. Good to my father. They were always, the whole crew, all the brothers, all the sons were very nice guys. uh, friendly to me. They welcomed me into their home. One time, um, like I said, you can't. Most of these guys are very gentlemanly. Like you don't see their dark side unless you get on like by that side, so to speak. Even John Gotti. Was a very nice guy, friendly to people. You know, hug people, kiss. But but then again, he loved the spotlight to begin with. Vic didn't like the spotlight. Um, Other guys like Sonny Francis, for example, who was part of Vic, he was in Vic's same family, the Colombo family. And Sonny Francis, I knew him through another friend of mine, Carmine Q. And Sonny, same thing. Sonny was a very nice guy to me, always friendly. One or two times I've actually met him in Manhattan. At a place called Brunelli's. It was on York Avenue and 71st Street. I used to go and hang out there every Wednesday night. And Carmine and Jimmy the Greek used to hang out with Sonny a lot. Because Jimmy the Greek, my friend Ronnie, who I just spoke to the other day, as a matter of fact, Ronnie the Jew, we used to call him Ronnie the Rottweiler. That was his real nickname. So Ronnie, Jimmy the Greek, and Carmine used to do a lot of pickups for Sonny back in the day. Because Sonny had a place called the Land Strip, which was a strip club right by the John F. Kennedy Airport. And they used to go drop off envelopes to Sonny all the time. And I used to hang out with Carmine. And like Vic, Sonny was just very gentlemanly, very soft spoken, not loud. He was a nice guy, you know. Like I said, even Boobie, even John, you know, every one of these guys that I've met, and generally, they're very gentlemanly. Like, I mean, but what if I thought about the old school guys?
Yeah.
Well,
I'd say it's really interesting because, like you say, he's not painted in a very positive light, is he? He's painted as somebody that was trying to usurp. Well, maybe he was probably trying to usurp the Colombo leader at the time and was caused a war effectively. What happened to Vic Orena?
well, he passed away not so long ago. I believe. Yeah, he did. I believe he died in prison. Um, Vic was, you know, he ended up doing life. And it was a shame because Vic was getting older and older in prison, and he wasn't doing well. He was sick. He was, I think he was suffering from dementia or something. I think something with his eyes. He just wasn't doing good. And one of his sons was trying to get him out of prison on I forgot the word for it, sympathetic release or something. I forgot the certain word for it. And
Compassionate
compassionate
release.
release, thank you. They wouldn't do it. They wouldn't let him out, which is a shame. But his sons are still alive, obviously, all four of them, and none of them are involved in their life anymore. None of them, as far as I know, they're not. So, but Vic's thing with the war with Carmine Persico that you mentioned, it's funny because one of my good friends, Bill Catolo, his father was Wild Bill Catolo, and Wild Bill was on the other side of the war. He was with Vic. So, and I have some other friends that are on the other side, like Larry Mazin. Larry Mazin was on the other side of the war, and I'm friends with both of them, which is pretty bizarre. But Vic Orena, he should he have pressed the buttons? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe he shouldn't have. Because Comrade Persico was very powerful. Even though he was in prison, the guy had a lot of power. And he had a lot of guys, a lot of loyalists on his side I mean, great guys like Greg Stoffer, he's a maniac. So we had a lot of powerful guys. So Vic didn't really have a shot to really win this. But I'm outside with Carmine because I thought Carmine Percival should have stepped out to begin with. You're doing prison time for a long time. You're not coming out. You got your son running the show. You got your nephew, Teddy, Alley Boy, running everything. I think Vic deserved a position, a higher position. But the one thing about the Percivals, there's too many of them. And they don't like to relinquish their power at all. So that would have never happened. Vic would have never, obviously he lost. but there was no way he would have won anyway.
Gotti was supporting Vic, wasn't he?
I'm sorry?
John Gotti supported Vic, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. John Gotti did support Vic. But I think Gotti and Carmine had some history together, way back. And I think Gotti didn't like Carmine very much. So Gotti went to college. Well, don't forget Vic and Gotti were, I think, came from the same kind of mentality of how the street's supposed to run. And also their proximity to each other. Carmine and John were very close to each other. I mean, in the sense of where they lived, and they were like half an hour from Chinese from each other, more or less half an hour, whatever it was. Wasn't far, so they did a lot of business together. Carmine, on the other hand, was in Brooklyn most of the time. It was a different, I think, territory per se. That's what I think might have been the reason why John was more attuned to Vic. And also, Vic was easy to bend, a little more to deal with. Carmine is not easy to deal with. Carmine is his way or no other way. That's it. That's just the way he is.
No. So you mentioned a guy, Sal, who would go in the back of your cafe.
Yeah.
Your father's cafe. What was he doing in the back of the cafe? Would he have a bookies or something in there?
Well, he was a bookie. That's what he was doing. He would go back there, take bets, and tally up whatever's got to be done with the football sheet. Because he would come on Tuesday, like I said, drop off the sheets, and then he would come on Saturday to ante up with everybody. And then I apologize. Sorry, he would come on Saturday, drop off the tickets. Then on Tuesday, after the Sunday's football, was all the games. Saturday and Sunday were the games. College games were on Saturday, the pro games were on Sunday. So he would drop them off Saturday morning, early in the morning, like 6, 7 in the morning. Drop them off, come back on Tuesday, and go in the back of the store. And that's where he would see, okay, this guy, this smart guy, he did it, whatever he had to do, whatever tallying up. Plus, he took horse bets as well.
So the back of this guy was using your father's cafe as like a kind of storage place where he stored all of his paperwork for the bets. Is that right?
Well, not so much that. I mean, but Dad had an office in the back where my father and my uncle would do all their bookkeeping, whatever it is for the restaurant. But Sal used it on Tuesdays, which sometimes Saturdays as well, to do all his paperwork, whatever he had to do. He never left anything in the store. The only thing he ever left in the store were the football sheets. Because if anybody wanted to bet after he left, we could do so. Something like that. I'll never forget one day we got a Jewish guy. They used to come in the store, his name was Ira. He used to come in the store every day. And one time he's sitting at one of his tables, he's selling the same table all the time. And he put out he would bet like 50 football sheets at once. Thousands of dollars. He put all the sheets on top of the table, spread them all out. And looking at the newspaper, trying to decide who's in the bet. My uncle got pissed. My uncle goes, "Are you out of your mind? You're putting all these things over here. Let's say the cops walk in. What do you think's going to happen? You're laying everything out on the table. What are you, nuts?" I'll never forget that. That was too funny. It was wrong.
I mean, yeah. Well, so what was the relationship between then your father and the mafia? Because it's quite interesting that they're using, like, I say it's interesting, maybe it's commonplace, but that they're using a Greek cafe to do their kind of business.
Oh, that's nothing to do with them at all. This is just, he let them. With back in those days, this was very normal. Like even the cops knew though. They didn't care. This was like in any cafe, any restaurant, whether it was Greek, Italian, Jewish, it didn't matter. It was very common. It was a very normal thing that nobody cared about because it was, it wasn't violent. It was betting. Who doesn't bet? Everybody bets. Firemen bet. We had cops betting those. We had lawyers betting. We had judges. Everybody's grandmother was betting. So it was nothing that was so much taboo unless you put it out in the open like this Jewish guy was. If you put it out there like that, you don't want to televise it. So it was done, cheaper, so to speak. It was down low. People knew, people didn't care.
If your father said to them, "Look, I don't want you doing this in my cafe," would they have respected that, or would there have been an issue
They
there?
probably would have. They probably would have. I mean, because it wasn't affecting my dad per se. It wasn't. Then again, I was troubled because, like I said, nobody really cared. Nobody was getting hurt. There wasn't like the loan sharks there that were lending money out. And we had nothing like that going on. It was just that.
And I suppose these guys spent money in there, didn't they? And left tips and stuff.
You mean with the selling it all the while?
Well, yeah, just the people around them, because I like with Vic and other people that they would come in and use the cafe to eat and drink and talk and things like that. Whereas if you said no, we don't want this sort of going on here, then it might alienate them all, therefore hurt your father's business.
It mattered, but like again, this was such a common thing in any place that it was again, it was as long as nobody was getting hurt and nothing was being damaged or there was nothing violent going on, the authorities didn't care because what were they doing? They're sitting there talking to the cafe, big deal. Nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody's not doing anything violent. I mean, whatever they're talking about, who knows? For all my father knows or I know, the FBI could have planted bugs in there. We don't even know about it. Who knows? It's very possible. But that never came out. I mean, one time we had a robbery in our cafe. My uncle was in the shop. My dad wasn't there. My uncle was there with two waitresses. And I think one of them dishwashers. And two Spanish guys came into the store was empty. It was at the end of the day. Nobody there. My uncle was counting the day's take. And two Spanish guys come in. And they ended up robbing the store. They put a note on my uncle's head. The girl, the witnesses, they took the money, took that money to the jewelry. So after that happened, some guys came into my dad's store. I don't know who, might have been Vic's people, I don't know who. Came in and said to him, "We'll find these people for you, if you want us to do it." Because everybody respected my father. They all love my father. They all love my dad, my uncle. Because they came in and hung out at his store. So my dad respected them, they respected him. So they came in and they asked, if we want their help, they would do it. They would find these guys for us. Now my father said, "Look, I respectfully decline. Let the cops do whatever they gotta do." And I said, "Okay, no problem. But still letting you know, we're here if you need anything." But that's like, "Okay, thank you very much." And they went on their way.
Well, I was going to ask, did your father call the cops? But you say he did. Why did your dad not want the mob going after these people?
Well, because like the saying is, you do something to make yourself you, we got a lot of things from you later on. So my dad knew the rules. He knew what it is. So he didn't want them, because once you ask them for a favor, they want a favor back. And who knows what that could possibly be. So my dad's like, "All due respect, thank you very much, but we'll go."
Did he ever talk about these people to you? Did he ever try to warn you away from them?
Not really, because he never thought that I would ever get that close to any of them. I don't think he ever imagined that. But I did, obviously. And if he knew, he probably would have told me to stay away from me. My family never got involved in anything like that. Not my brother, not my uncles, nobody. Only one uncle of mine ever done big stuff. Something like this. And my uncle was a millionaire. And he was in the construction business. And so you can't be in the construction business in New York and not be involved with these kind of guys. It's impossible. So I knew he was. I'm sure. I worked with him. I worked with him for a little while. And I saw what a shady guy he was. And he proved it. He went to prison for 8 years. So he's the only guy in my family that I can say, outside of myself, knowing these people and getting a little tight with them, him more than me, obviously, that was in any way connected to that world.
What was his name?
Tommy. I don't want to.
Tommy
I don't want to say
Christopher.
his full name. No, that's his last name.
Oh. Okay, fair enough. You said you met Sinatra. Well, Sinatra was in your father's cafe.
Mhm.
How come he was there?
He's sick.
What, just for something to eat?
Well, his secretary lived in that
Fine.
area.
Okay.
She lived where she used to come to my dad's cafe all the time. And one day she came in with Frank. They were boarding the train. My dad's cafe was right next to the main train that goes to the city, which is called the Long Island Railroad. And all the customers would come from the train. And she came in one day with him. And I gotta tell you, thank God he came early. She came very early. It was like 7:30 or 7:30 in the morning. And oh my God, we were all floored. My mouth. Well, what? Oh my God, look at these. I was in total shock. I didn't know what to say. And my dad loves his music, loves Frank Sinatra's music, and my uncle. My grandfather was like, "Who's he?" And my grandfather's really old, he doesn't know. So he didn't stay there very long. I mean, they were in and out. They came in, they got their coffee. And the secretary, she pulled out a picture of Frank, and he's holding a little dog in his hand. And Frank, writes my father's name and my uncle's name on it and signs it, and they gives him the picture. And my father's like, "Thank you very much. Don't worry about the coffee, it's on us." And Frank goes, "No, I'm gonna pay for it." And my dad's like, "No, it's on us. No problem." So it was really quick. I wish he hung out longer.
Probably would have got mobbed if he stayed in there for much longer.
Yeah, because that time he came in there early, right before the rush. So he left just in time before the place got full.
Yeah, he was some character, wasn't he, Sinatra?
Well, that he was.